Hello, welcome to another broadcast of welcome to another broadcast of The Hidden Tears of a Black Male. I want to talk about my book, From the Eyes of a Cop, Black Lives Matter. I struggle putting this book together, as I mentioned in the previous videos, and also on my channel, He Still Speaks Now Listen.org. I wrote part of it several years ago, put it off to the shelf, and when I heard the Black Lives Matter group came on the scene, I had a thought about putting the two titles together, From the Eyes of a Cop, Black Lives Matter. It's a factual book based on my experiences, research some information that you yourself can investigate and see, references that you can research and discover. You wanted me to say it's your opinion, but I've been out there on the street. I know what it's like. I know what I encounter. So a person who's never been out on the street, all they can do is talk about what they think, feel, want, and believe, and what they saw on TV and whomever they talk to. Unless you've been out there on the street yourself, then you can't even have a discussion with me, because I've been out there. I've been shot at. I've been shot at one time by a black male, 11:33 at night. We had just got these particular cars that had automatic windows. That turned the corner, I saw someone laying in some bushes, and he jumped up. And as he jumped up, I heard a shot, an orange flash. He ran toward my car, threw the gun toward me, and I veered to the left, and I jumped out to pick up the weapon, and he took off running. He was eventually captured, went to court, and after he was captured, I asked him why did he did that? Why did he shoot at me? He said he thought I was a white officer. That's the only thing that was white on me is my teeth and his car. He got 6 years. I was on an undercover investigation one time in Prostitute Alley. Had a female in my vehicle who propositioned me, gave me the price. I identified myself as officer. She tried to jump out the vehicle. We struggled. She pulled out a cake knife and cut me on my finger. Did I shoot her? No. I remember chasing a car in my patrol car late at night. Guy jumps out. We jump backyard, jumping the fence. He turned around and raised his hand, and I couldn't determine what he had. And the first thought in my mind was shooting the ground. So I fired a weapon in the ground, and he started screaming and hollering, "Why do you shot me?" I said, "Why do you put your hand up like that?" He said because he figured if he did that, I would think he had a gun, and I would stop chasing him. So these are some of my stories that I had experienced. And I wasn't thinking about back then, Black Lives didn't matter. Organization that said Black Lives Matter. I was defending myself. When I put on a uniform and rode in the patrol car on the street, there was no guarantee that I'd be coming back home to my wife at the time when I was married. There's no guarantee that when I stop a patrol car that the person may not open up the front door and start shooting their weapon at me. There's no guarantee that it won't happen. So I put this book together with a catchy title. You say one person said, "Why do you name it From the Eyes of a Cop, Black Lives Matter?" People are going to think that you're going to say that Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. If you read the book, you see where I'm coming from. Read the book and you see where I'm coming from. I wrote the book because I want to inform, I want to educate those out there who have the belief that officers are out there shooting people for no reason. And it's kind of weird that you can have videotape, smoking gun evidence, audio, eyewitnesses, and some people refuse to accept the truth. Why? Because they have their own agenda. They have their own agenda for whatever reason. In the recent years, a lot of individuals has been killed. White officers been shot at. White officers shoot white individuals or whatever. But what makes the news when a white officer shoot a black victim or suspect? And even when the evidence proves that the officer was wrong, he go to jail, he get arrested, or whatever the outcome is, some people are not satisfied. I can never understand when individuals take to the street, set their neighborhoods afire, burn up property, burn stores down, loot and steal, all in the name of the victim. And people say, let them vent, let them exercise their freedom of speech. Yes, you can exercise your freedom of speech in a normal, calm manner. When you burn down the store and steal TVs, cell phone, liquor, beer, cigarette, or whatever your mind can think of in the name of the victim, no, that's wrong. And then when the police officer respond in the neighborhood to make their arrest, you throw bottles and Molotov cocktails at them. You said they were violating your rights. A lot of individuals feel that the police officer should ride off into the sunset. Ride off into the sunset. I recall another instance where I pull up on the corner and the guy had an automatic weapon. And he was captured. And someone asked me to say, why didn't you, I think it was a female, why didn't you turn the corner? Why you didn't go the other way? And I thought about what they said, and I didn't realize what they was asking me. So I thought about it. They was actually saying, you was putting your life in danger. You should just ride off into the sunset and nobody will know. But I will know. I couldn't do that. So as an officer, former officer, I did put my life out there to protect you, a stranger, a mother, a child, a father, a brother, a niece, a nephew. And yet, people will spit on your face. Being a black officer is not easy because we have black individuals that will make threats, call me Uncle Tom, a sellout. How can you arrest your own people? I had a saying, as long as you stay on the side of your line and I stay on my side, we okay. But if you come across my line and you do something wrong, I'm going to arrest you. And that was my motto. And so being a black male as a police officer is very hard. And think about this. A black police officer working in a predominantly black neighborhood where there's known, any neighbor will tell you there's known drug locations, gambling, prostitution, or whatever crime you can think of, and the officer respond in the community, who is he going to stop? Black suspects. But let's reverse it. There have been times where I was working in a predominantly white neighborhood. Who did I stop? Predominantly white individuals that show probable cause they was about to do something. So it's not about if you put me in a neighborhood, I'm picking you out because you're white or you're black. No, I'm picking you out because you're committing or in the process of committing a crime. And that leads me into this. You ever watch, there's an old television show called Mayberry RFD, or I think it's Mayberry RFD. Andy Sheriff Taylor and Barney Fife. Do YouTube, you see it. Back in his town, the sheriff didn't carry a gun, but Barney carried a gun, and he always fired his weapon so the sheriff would take his bullets and put it in his pocket. And Barney wanted to use the weapon and felt that the weapon represented authority, but the sheriff did not carry a weapon. And in my book, I titled a chapter called "This World Is Not a Utopia." There are a lot of individuals out there that want police officers to don't carry no weapons. How ridiculous that is. A police officer carrying a weapon, driving a police car, rides up into a neighborhood where there's a bank robber, a woman is being raped, a child is being raped, or somebody is committing a violent act with a hammer or a gun, and the police officer has no weapon. What is he to do? Bye. When you finish doing what you're doing, call me. I may arrest you. How ridiculous that is. People want officers to look the other way, and they can do what they want to do. But guess what? It doesn't work that way. There are laws on land. So I put the book together to inform, to educate. There's a chapter in there where there's thousands of individuals that were shot in Chicago over the years, last year, and even this year. Have you heard or seen those who say they speak for us on the street protesting, even in churches or whomever, protesting at masses and roving, saying, stop the violence, stop killing your own for whatever reason? I'm representing somebody to say, so he kills someone, a loved one get killed, get gunned down, everybody come together for the funeral, and then after the funeral, the person's friend will go out and try to retaliate in the name of what I'm representing. Just think about it. To chase someone down, to kill them because they kill your homeboy and you get killed, that doesn't make sense. You're not going to come back and say, I represent, or get arrested and spend a lifetime in prison. I also had an opportunity to work in a maximum security prison, and I've spoken to a lot of individuals that never getting out. They've been in prison when beepers, cell phones, and everything that you and I can play with today, they did not have an opportunity to even touch it. They can see it on TV, but they cannot touch it. To be away from their parents when their mother or father die, and they cannot cry behind the bars because they would be considered weak. To be in prison for the rest of their lives, to only see friends that may come. And with no homies, the homeboys, the gang that they run with, do any of them get visitation from them? When I was there, no, they got visitation from friends and family members, or even their son or their daughter, that they will never get to hold, never get to watch grow up, never have an opportunity to say, don't do this, don't do that. Never have a father to say, I'm going to teach you how to be a man. I'm going to teach my daughter not to spread her legs because a man say, I love you. In prison today as I'm speaking to you right now. And a lot of them have shared with me their stories that they're in there for whatever reason. And some have even gotten out. And I've seen a show on TV where people have been exonerated because of bad police officer, bad cases. And that's okay. But we should not put ourselves in a position as one in authority to do as we please to render justice. Because when no justice is on the land, people will begin to do what they want to do, say what they want to say, and render their own vengeance upon others. So as I thought about it, those who say they speak for us, do they really speak for us? Or they speak for us in return of what's in it for them? Think about it. The next time you hear a police officer shooting or any kind of shooting, ask yourself why, who's benefiting from this? Is this a legitimate uprising? And what does stealing, looting, hurting others, damaging property has to do with the dead victim? And if we are shown and it has been proven that the police officer is wrong, they should go to jail and spend the rest of their life if the evidence prove it. But when the midst of videotapes and all the other evidence out there, and people have cell phones, and we see the actual evidence, should we close our eyes because of the color of a person's skin? No. We as individuals, special in the Black community, should not feel that we deserve special rights for anything. We deserve what we deserve because we put an effort behind what we deserve. We should not be played. On one of my videos, I put, just go ahead and play me. Just play me. Use me for your purpose. Because you know what? I'm tired of doing the right thing. I'm tired of following the crowd. I'm tired of just, being a goody two-shoe, if you want to say that. I'm tired of just acting like I know I'm not perfect, but I'm just tired of being normal. Why don't I play the play the role, hang out with the boys on the corner, drink a 40, smoke some marijuana, have sex with multiple women, get them pregnant, go to another woman, just leave baby daddy dramas and kids all behind. Why don't I just do that? That's not me. Am I condemning other people that do that? No, I'm just saying that when truth is not been taught, when truth is not being spoken and being revealed to someone out there, they too can be captured by their own self-interest. And here's another thought. You wrote the book, you're here to earn money. I write because I have to. I write because that is what I feel I'm called to do. Whatever money I get from the books is be the fruit of my labor. If I was writing to get rich, I would have stopped a long time ago because I'm not earning that much money yet. But what I'm going to tell you today, that this particular book, you can order it from createspace.com if you want a hard copy. You can order it from me and get an autographed copy. But here's another sweet, let me say, I'm going to say that. Here's another appetizer. This book is free. If you want a PDF copy of it, email me and I'll send it to you. But I also downloaded, I copied the whole book and put it on my website, HeStillSpeaksNowListen.org. If you go to HeStillSpeaksNowListen.org, you will see in the tab BLM. And this is the book that you can look at. You can copy it. You can paste it. You can paste it on your Word program, turn it into a PDF, and read it. It is free. It is free to you. Why is it free? Because I want you to know. No money unless someone ordered the book from the sites that I mentioned. So you have no excuse. If you are afraid of the truth, you won't order it. You won't request a PDF copy. If you're going to stay in the mindset of, Black Lives Matter only, if you're going to stay in the mindset of it's okay for me to steal, loot, and do whatever in the name of the victim, if you're going to stay in the mindset of I'm going to disregard the factual evidence, if you're going to stay in the mindset that vengeance is mine and I'm going to seek vengeance because of who was killed and whomever, if you are looking at your own self-interest over the truth, that's your choice. But I will tell you today, you have the right to know that you have been shown the truth. You may not investigate anything that I'm saying. You may not even order the book. You may not even go to my website. You may just cast everything I say off. But if you heard 1 minute of what I said when I start this video, then you are held accountable in the future. You will reap what you sow. If you deny and refuse to accept and understand that this information is being given to you for a purpose to help others, then you have judged yourself. You have arrested yourself. You have put yourself in your own self-imposed prison. And you going to know. And I'm going to read a particular passage that I wrote. When people are arrested, we will tell them, if I can remember, that they have the right to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent. Let me see if I can find it. Just had it a few minutes ago. There's a thing called Miranda warning. You have the right to remain silent when questioned. Anything you say or do may be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to consult an attorney before speaking to the police and have an attorney present during questioning now or in the future. If you cannot afford an attorney before any question if you wish. If you decide to answer any question now without an attorney present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to your attorney. Knowing and understanding your rights as I explained them to you, are you willing to answer my questions without an attorney present? And you can say yes or no. And officer, people say, well, he didn't read my rights. If your rights was not read, the officer had a reason, because maybe the type of crime you committed. Or if he read you your rights and he shared them like I did, you still have an opportunity to stop answering questions. You have no right to incriminate yourself until you get an attorney. So I thought about that, and I came up with my own version. I wrote 3, but I'm gonna read this. I'm not gonna read all 3 of them because it's in the particular my book. But I'm gonna read you my rights that I'm gonna share to you. You do not have the right to remain in your sins. Anything you refuse to examine about yourself, you reap what you sow. You're entitled to have a spiritual representation, and that is the truth that is available at any time you want. You cannot afford to remain in your sins. If you refuse to believe that you always sin, you have judged and sentenced yourself to pain, suffering, physical and spiritual death. Do you understand your spiritual rights? Knowing and understanding your spiritual rights, I have explained them. Are you willing to agree that you sin? Are you ready for your spiritual representation to set you free? That is my version of the rights. And when we refuse, then we have sentenced ourselves to whatever judgment that we may experience, our children may experience, or their children may experience. Justice must have its recompense. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel, like my channel, make a comment, share with other people, let them have opportunity to hear. You may don't want to know. You may decide to stay in the world that you created for yourself, and that's fine. But allow someone else to get a copy of this book, because they may be crying out. They have hidden tears also. So allow someone else to wipe away the tears with the truth. Thank you.